Hey guys, this is Mr. Waffleman. I'm going to be doing a brief tutorial on how to install the ACRE Advanced Combat Radio Environment mod for ARMA2. I'm using ARMA2 Combined Ops, which is basically ARMA2 and Operation Arrowhead put together. I assume it should work with the individual installations, but I can't vouch for that since I haven't tried it out myself. Alright, so to start off, you're going to need a couple of files. I provided links to all of them. First one is TeamSpeak 3, which is basically a VoIP. It's like setting up a conference call, sort of, except with a computer. And that's required for the mod. You're going to need the mod, of course, ACRE. There are I've put up two links. There's the automatic installation, which is basically a .exe file, which is right here, as you can see. And then there's the manual install, which is you would have to manually copy and paste stuff. That's the RAR I have right here. I guess people recommend the automatic installation. I'm gonna do the manual, and I personally would recommend the manual also, just because you have a bit more certainty that all the files are going to the right place. If you're familiar with other mods, such as the bigger ones, which are ACE, CBA, you know that there's automatic installers for that. I use Yoma, and like I said, there's two big mods. There's ACE and CBA. CBA is required for ACRE to work. ACE is not required. So I would recommend you go ahead and use this repository with add-on sync, which I'm sure you could find another video tutorial for. If you can't, just PM me or leave a comment. I'll get you guys that, or I might do one myself if it's not that big of a hassle. So make sure you've got that installed. Make sure you install CBA first. After that, you just pick up from here. So if you're having problems installing it right now, like for example, um, there's this thing with TeamSpeak 3 where if you're trying to get it running from the plugins, it'll appear as red text, you can't do it. Or if you're going into ARMA and it says could not connect to TeamSpeak, I would recommend you go ahead and start out from scratch. So I've already got TeamSpeak 3 installed. I'm gonna uninstall it just so that we've got a clean slate to work off of. Alright, TeamSpeak 3, goodbye. Alright, so if you've downloaded the stuff that I gave you links for, you should add this, TeamSpeak 3, this or this, and then CBA should already be installed in your ARMA directory. The installer does it by itself. Like I said, look up on the tutorial for that. So to start off, I'm going to go ahead and install TeamSpeak 3. Windows 7, Vista, please run as admin. Just be safer. Doesn't hurt to right click and then click again. Next, I agree. If you don't know what you're doing, go ahead and just keep pressing next and I agree and stuff. Okay, let it install. Alright, so now I've got TeamSpeak 3. Now, please don't run TeamSpeak 3 because if you do, you're going to run into a lot of problems. Like, that's what I did the first 2 hours. I tried to make it work and it obviously didn't. So do not run TeamSpeak 3 at all between installing until I do it. So do exactly as I do. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to go into my computer and you're going to find wherever TeamSpeak 3 leads. So if you have XP, you would have to do it manually. If you have Vista or 7, you could just right click on this, go to open file location, but I'm going to do it manually. So you're going to go to C drive, or actually, yes, you would do C drive if you just kept pressing next. It would be in your program files, and then it would be TeamSpeak client. Right, I installed it somewhere else. So mine is right here. Like I said, program files, TeamSpeak 3 client. You can go into plugins. Alright, now if you have this thing, which is the manual ACRE, I think it would do that all for you. I don't know because I don't use it. You could try that. I'm going to do this with the manual, and just because you're watching this, I recommend you do the manual too, just so that you're doing exactly what you see. Alright, so it's got these two folders in here, ARMA2 and TS3 plugin. So you're going to need both of those. So ARMA2 we're going to worry about later. We're going to set that up later. TeamSpeak 3 we're going to go ahead and set that up now. Once you open the TS3, there's only two files here. There's ACRE.dll and there's ACRE underscore x64. Now, if you're running 64-bit, you're going to use this one. If you're running 32-bit, you're going to use this one. You're not sure, Windows 7, not XP, Vista. Go to My Computer. Might be on your desktop. Right-click it, Properties, and it says it right here. So I have 64. Alright, now I only use the 64. So because I got 64, I'm going to go ahead and throw the 64. If you've got 32, you would put the blank one in. Alright, so now that TeamSpeak 3 is completely set up, that's the only file you need to really throw in. You can close this off, and start TeamSpeak 3 as an admin for 7 and Vista. It doesn't work unless you do it as an administrator. Alright, you're going to go into Settings, Plugins, and you would check ACRE plugin, and you would hit Reload All, close. For some people, TeamSpeak 3 might crash. Go ahead and let it crash, close it, start it up again. If TeamSpeak 3 doesn't crash, close it anyways. Right click, run as admin, and just double check that ACRE is still checked. So remember, you can check it, reload all, close. Alright, so TeamSpeak 3 is set up. Alright, go ahead and close off TeamSpeak 3 and make sure it's completely closed. Now we're going to set up ARMA. So we've got the ARMA2 folder from the manual installation. Alright, you've got these 5 things. You've got 4 folders, 1 file. You're going to go ahead and find your way over to, you're going to find your way over to your ARMA directory. For me it's C, Program Files, Bohemia Interactive, ARMA2. Alright, so once you're in just the root directory, I've already got it installed, but I'm going to go ahead and throw these files in anyways. Just simple copy, paste. Alright, so again, you just copy paste this stuff over. If it asks you to replace stuff, replace it. Merge folders, let it do all that stuff. So now your ARMA2 is almost done. You've got the stuff set up. Now all you have to do is make sure that when you start up ARMA, it actually starts up the mod. So to do that, if you have beta, if you're using a beta patch, you should already have this little shortcut here. Make it another shortcut to your desktop. So basically right click, send to desktop. If you're running ARMA2 by itself without Operation Arrowhead, you do this, right click, send to desktop. If you're doing OA, Operation Arrowhead, send to desktop. So basically that's going to make this shortcut right here, which I have. So once you've got the shortcut down, you're going to go right click, properties, and in the target field, you're going to go to the end of the quotes. So you've got the C, basically it's pointing towards the where you got the shortcut from, and then at the end you should have this right here, the end double quotes. So I'm going to write this out, notepad. So we've got right here, right? We don't really need to see this. All we know is it goes to this thing. Now if you're running not beta, it should end right there, and you shouldn't have anything else. So if you don't have beta, you're going to add this. You can space, one dash, mod, equals. Alright? And now basically what this thing does is it tells ARMA to run a mod. And the mod that it runs is going to be based off these folders right here. Alright? So you see how they've got ads before them? These are all mods. So to run ACRE, we know that we need to have CBA and JARMA2. So we're going to do first at CBA, separate it by a semicolon. Next, you want JARMA2 library, and it needs to be identical to the spelling of the folders. So if you have ARMA2, you would use this folder. If you have Operation Arrowhead, you would use this folder. If you have Combined Ops, you'd use this folder. And then last, you're gonna put in ACRE. Make sure you don't forget that at like I just did right there. And look, another mistake. Semicolon. And then end it off with a semicolon. Just to close it off, make it look more pro. So if you've got beta, you've already got the mod line, you've got the dash mod equals, and then you have like some stuff here. So we're gonna put stuff. Basically, at the end of stuff, just add a semicolon and then do this, and make sure you do it in this order: CBA, JARMA2 library, ACRE. So once you've got that in your target thing, just hit OK or apply and then OK, and you're good to go. So basically, this is going to start off ARMA with ACRE. So now before you run ACRE, you're going to go ahead and start up TeamSpeak and make sure, like I said, 7 and Vista, do it as an administrator. Alright, connect to any server. And you saw what I did right there? Make sure you know to updates. Do not update TeamSpeak. If you update TeamSpeak, it will not work. Next, for TeamSpeak, you need to go to Settings, Options, and then Capture on the left side, and make sure it's on push to talk, and set it to some key that you're not going to use and that's not used by ARMA, because when you're running ACRE, it uses its own shortcut, which is by default caps lock. You can change that. You should, it's in the readme if you want to know how to change that. But basically set TeamSpeak 3 to something else, because ACRE is going to use caps lock. So set TeamSpeak 3 to something else. Alright, so you're going to hit OK. Minimize. You don't have to minimize it. And then you're going to start up ARMA2 regular. Just do open. You don't have to run it as an admin.